Hello and welcome back. Day 22, and today I'm excited because I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine, and that friend's name is JavaScript. So today we're starting some actual JavaScript coding. So we've done HTML, CSS, and now JavaScript. If you've made it this far, it shows that you really have what it takes to succeed. Awesome. So we're going to start off today by adding what we call an event handler for our button. Now I'm about to explain what that is. So let's get down to it. So what exactly is an event? Now an event is anything that takes place in your web page, any change that takes place. For example, the event might be triggered by a user. So for example, the user clicks on a button, in this case our submit button. So when the user clicks on the submit button, it fires off what is known as an event. So it says to the rest of the page that I've been clicked. Now we can use JavaScript to capture that event and decide that when that particular event takes place, what happens next. In the same way, we can handle just about any event that takes place on the web page, whether it's the user clicked it or the page just loaded or a certain time has passed, you name it. No matter what, the moment there's a change on your web page somewhere, you can handle that event using JavaScript. Now I'm going to show you how to take control of that event. Now first and foremost, we need to put in some tags where our JavaScript is going to reside. So just below the last div tag, the footer div tag, and just above the body tag, we're going to put a new tag, open angle bracket, script, close angle bracket. So you can see immediately the close script tag appears there. All right, next we are going to put in some JavaScript. Now watch what I'm going to do. Document dot get element by ID. So what this means is scan the document, meaning scan the HTML, and look for an element with the ID of submit. So which is the element with the ID of submit? When we go to our form, can you see that button there? You remember the form button? This little guy here, the submit button. You remember we gave him an ID of submit, right? So now what we are saying, that find that button and add an event listener. In other words, listen to that button. The moment that button fires off an event, the moment it says, yay, somebody just clicked me, then we're going to do something. We're going to action that. And what are we going to, what sort of event we're looking for? It's the click event. So in other words, we listen now. We're writing the script to listen to that button. So when that button says, I've been clicked, something is going to happen. So after the comma, so click, don't forget the single quotes there. You can even put double quotes, that's fine. What we're going to do is check answers, and that's it, semicolon. Now let's look at it again. Document dot get element by ID. Now, in other words, we're saying to our script, this is JavaScript. Now we're saying to JavaScript, go through this document, look for an element that has an ID of submit. In other words, you go into a crowd of people and you say, is there a Tom Smith here? That's the same thing we're doing. So JavaScript is going to look at the HTML document and say, is there an element here by the name of submit? And then this button will raise his hand. He says, yes, that's me. So then the moment JavaScript finds him, the JavaScript is going to add an event listener, and it's going to say to that button that whenever anything happens, any click event happens with you, let me know. And when JavaScript detects that that button has been clicked, then it calls this function here. It calls a function called check answers. Now where's this function check answers? The thing is, this function doesn't yet exist. we're gonna need to create it. So let's make this function. We make a function by using the keyword function, and we give it a name. Oops, what am I typing there? Check answers. Now remember, this name and this one needs to be identical. If there's even a single letter missing there, then our code is just not going to work. Then we put in an open round bracket and a close round bracket, and then an open curly braces and a close curly braces. Now what is this? What's with these brackets here, and what's with these braces? Now that requires a bit of explanation, and I'm not going to get into that. For those that want to learn more in depth about this, go and sign up for the Entrepreneur course on IT Varsity. That's the place where I go in depth with all the explanations, and you'll understand pretty much everything that we are doing. Our objective here is just to build this app. So we're not going to delve too in depth. Otherwise, we're going to need like a whole year of videos. So just double check your work. You've got the keyword function. Now let me show you a very common error. This. Can you see what I did here? I spelt it incorrectly. Okay, that sounds a bit rude, but sorry about that. I didn't expect that. So make sure, but that's a mistake that most students make. They miss out the N. For some odd reason, they miss out the N. And then the other mistake they make is they forget, or they spell this incorrectly. This and this needs to be the same. And another common error is they miss out these brackets here. There's open and close round brackets, and then the open and close curly brackets. All right, now we can add some functionality inside here. We're not going to add the actual functionality. We're just going to test this to see if it works. If the user clicks on this button, does it fire off this event listener? Does this event listener call this function, and does this function actually do something? So we're going to do just an alert. Now what is an alert? An alert basically sends a pop-up to the screen. It just shows up a pop-up box, and this box will say button was clicked. Let's put a couple of exclamation marks to make it a little more exciting. So in other words, right now, when the user clicks on this button submit, it's going to fire off this event listener, and the event listener is going to call this function, and this function is going to output alert, this alert box, button was clicked. Okay, let's go and check this out in the browser. Save it, back in the browser, refresh, and here comes the moment of truth. Click, boom. The page says button was clicked. Click on OK. Again, boom. Wow, this is fun. So every time you click the button, the pop-up box will appear. So well done. If you've done this much, if you've come this far, then we have successfully created this event listener, and we are handling this button. And the way we're handling it is we're doing this alert. The next thing we need to do is to add the actual functionality to go through the quiz and check the answers. That would be all the answers that the user typed in there. We'll do that in the next lesson.